Well, I'm back again for what is this, day 3 this week, and today we are going to be doing a different version of the Jesus is the Reason for the Season wreath. I had a request for a custom order and they just want it in a totally different color palette. So I'm super excited to show you this particular color palette. I'm anxious to see what it's actually going to look like. We're still keeping the same sign, but the customer's door is red. So we're kind of going in with a little bit of a wine color, like a Merlot, so that it really pops against that just solid red door. Because normally you don't think red on red would pop. But I think by adding tones of gold and that wine color, I think it's really going to make the impact that the customer is hoping for. So let me just make sure, unlike yesterday, where I was completely in the wrong group. Hold on just 1 second. This way I can view your comments. Hi, Stormy, how are you? Okay, let me just double check. Hi, Stacy, welcome from Michigan. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this going. That way I don't keep you guys up too late, but I definitely wanted to share this design with you guys. It's gonna get delivered tomorrow. So, hi Kathy, thanks for joining. So 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. We're going to wire this up the same way that we always do. So for people that are new and joining us for the first time, can you let us know that you're new and where you're from? We'd like to welcome you and hopefully get you in touch with somebody here, possibly in the wreathing community that can, you never know, you guys could be crafting buddies. If you like this design and want to replicate it at some point where you have all your materials together, do me a favor and click the share button. The share button will go ahead and save this actual video to your page, and then that way you have it ready when you get everything together. I will go over all the supplies with you as we're like putting them into the wreath, where they came from, how long everything is cut to. Don't be afraid to ask me any questions. I'm happy to answer them. Realize it's just me, so I'm going to be, fielding questions and doing the design at the same time. Let's see. If you want to be notified when we do these unexpected videos, or even on our Friday night live at 5, do me a favor and click the like and follow button. So both of those need to be clicked in order for you to receive an automatic notification. So long as you're on your phone when I go live, then you should get an automatic notification, hopefully. Technology being what it is, we can never just be 100% certain. YouTube people that are catching this on a YouTube replay, do me a favor and go ahead and click the bell in the upper right hand corner. That subscribes to my YouTube channel. That way you're notified whenever we upload a new video. And I think that's it. So hi Lori, hi Tony, hi Luz, let's see, hi Jolene, hi Sheila, welcome everyone joining us. So we're gonna go ahead and wire this up first. I do this just because sometimes people are catching us for the very first time, whether they're catching us for the first time on a Facebook Live or they're watching this video on a YouTube type of video. So this is beneficial for everybody. So on a Dollar Tree wreath frame, 14 inches, you have 6 sections. I've wired the first 5, and then I'm going to walk you through how we wire the 6th, which is exactly how you're going to do it on all the other 5 sections. So we're taking our pipe cleaner or Chanel stem. You're using the weld marks here with 4 rings. We're going to wire the 2 innermost rings together with our pipe cleaner. And I'm using red, obviously, because we're going red. So you're gonna go ahead and attach that there. I find that if you wire 2 of the rings together, it creates more tension needed to prevent the pipe cleaners from moving. And then we're going to wire the outer 2 using the center and our weld mark as our kind of like guide points, so that we find hopefully middle ground between those 2. And then we'll go ahead and wire this one together. And there we go. So now it's all set. It's got 6 on the inside. It's got 12 on the outside for a grand total of 18. And for me, this is a go-to form for every single method of deco mesh that I have done. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready to start adding our deco mesh, which is this, they call it wide foil. This is a wine colored metallic, so it's got a really rich color, which is where I wanted to go. I didn't want to go red. I wanted to kind of take it a more richer color. Like yesterday when we did the blue, we didn't go like sky blue or medium blue, I forget what they call it, where it's just kind of in the middle. We went with a navy, which paired really well with the gold. So these are going to be cut to 20-inch pieces for the ruffles. The reason why I choose to do this is, number one, you will complete an entire roll of deco mesh without having any left over. You'll get exactly 18 pieces if you're cutting them correctly. And these are all cut using the wood burning tool. And this helps prevent those cut edges from fraying. So, and when I ruffle this, I'm going to be adding the finished edge, as you'll see, to the inside and the outside. And then that helps with the fraying as well. Hi Sherry, hi Jacqueline. Wow, all the way from Quebec, welcome. Hi Gail. So Gail says she just logged off from working. And Linda is from Three Birds Nest Company, which is one of the people that we recommend using for your signs. She's actually one of the people that we have agreement with for our private group members to get discounts on their signs. So I want to welcome Linda to our group. And then Gail is our additional moderator / admin. So when Steve's not around, I can kind of default to Gail to kind of help answer some of the questions. Private group members, if you're here and you can answer any of the questions somebody poses, please, by all means, feel free to answer. Do you like a certain wood burning tool? Rebecca asked. The only one that I would really recommend is any one that you can get with a temperature gauge on it, because you need your wood burning tool at 425 degrees to get a really good seal on that. So when you're shopping, just look for one that says this will go up to, you need it at least 425. I can link that tomorrow from Amazon, the one that I purchased from Amazon. It's like the whole kit comes with all the pieces, stencils, a whole bunch of stuff you don't need. But what you really need is the chisel point and the ability to go to 425. And then remember, if you're using the wood burning tool, you're going to need a glass cutting, what do you call it, glass? It's not glass, it's not a mat. Glass cutting board. Although it's weird when I say glass cutting board, it's not made out of wood, but nonetheless, that's where it's at. Let me go ahead and start taking off the interior ones as well. So those are my recommendations. Okay, and the reason why I'm taking off the interior ones is because I know, number one, based on yesterday's design, we didn't need them. And between the sign and the bow, we're not going to, we don't need the interior 6. And Barbara, you just bought that sign today. Thank you, Linda. Tempered glass. That's what I needed. Tempered glass cutting. But see, then it still goes to board. But you guys know what I mean. And I got mine at Walmart. I think it was like $7.47, something like that. So they're not that expensive. And I think mine is like a 10, no, wait a second, let me think. 11 by 14 glass piece. And I just take it and lay it over my cutting mat. Be careful if you're using it, because if you place it on your self-healing mat, it won't self-heal from soldering or the wood burning tool. It will actually burn a hole right through your mat. And there goes Gail. It gets extremely hot. because Gail knows that all too well this weekend when she thought it was off and picked it up and it was on. And she picked it up by the blade side. So that's not fun. But I'm praying for healing for you. You're welcome, Rebecca. Debbie says she bought this sign as well last night. And Linda gave you guys a great hint. Most glass cutting boards and the glass shelves out of your refrigerator can be used. So if you have an old refrigerator sitting in the garage, like I do, and you're not using all of the shelves, feel free to take one of those out and voila, you have a glass cutting board. You just need to be able to see through it in order to be able to see your measurements. Okay. Making sure I'm answering all of your questions. I'm super excited that a lot of you decided to order the signs. I definitely think it's going to be a really popular design, especially for this time of the year. I think I would like to see one, maybe like a gold, like rose gold would be really pretty. Hint, hint, Linda. I like being able to talk to our sign makers and make suggestions. Like this customer who wanted it red, I was like, okay, you know, the sign doesn't come red, but I did have some other signs that could have worked with this design, but she was adamant that she wanted this one. So I was like, okay, we'll see how it all looks together. I'm hoping that's gonna work out well. And Linda says she's already on it, so look for that sign to pop up in her shop. And the name of her shop is on Etsy. It's 3 Birds Nest Co. And it's all squished together. I had requests to do the sign in several different ways recently. I would see that. Kathy, yes, I am live. Can you believe that? Steve's like, you're going live again? I'm like, well, I have to do the custom order, so it's kind of nice because then you can give the link back to the customer and say, hey, if you ever want to see how your wreath was created, here's the link to how it was created on a Facebook Live. Perfect. Gail's on it. I love it. Today, it was another blazing hot 95 degrees here in the lovely high desert of Southern California. Oh, that's true, Gail. You keep bugging me every day. She'll ask me, so what you making live today? I'm like, who said I was going live today? She goes, oh, I just thought you would go live. So we talk a lot about designs, and we talked about this design. So I had 2 different ways to go. I could have gone with a red. It just looked really weird. It looked more like an orange red, and then it was paired with a gold stripe through it. And I thought, would that look good? But then when we paired it with all the ribbon, it didn't. It would have gone well with the gold, but with the fact that I went deeper, darker, like a burgundy, like velvet, and I really wanted the ribbon on this wreath to pop like it did on the one we did yesterday. So this has a lot of, we're doing a lot of velvet stuff that looks like it would have been Victorian era wallpaper for like that time frame. Flipping. We had snow up here. Ugh. I would just love a break in the temperatures and get it down to 70s because either I have to get up in the morning and water early, or we have to water late at night. I don't like doing either. This is kind of creepy, being outside in the dark, watering your plants. And yes, I still get creeped out walking through the backyard at night with no lights. This is spooky. I have the link of you making my beautiful Americana wreath. Oh, thanks, Gail. See, it does make it feel more special. I like being able to do that, especially with custom orders, because then they have that forever. Okay, we're slowly getting around. This should be fairly simple because, like I said, we're walking through pretty much the same process we did yesterday, but just different color palette. I'm still working on the doctor sign. Almost there, we'll post. Oh, okay. So Kathy, did you order a custom sign from Linda? So as you guys can see, I am taking the ruffle, how I'm ruffling it, the finished edge, and the finished edge here is going inside and then to the outside. And I think I might end up making another wreath with this, definitely this color, wine color for the bottom. And I really, really like these ribbons. So I really want to take one and go like high-end vintage Victorian Christmas. I did that 2 years ago in 2018. But I would like to do one with more like reds, cream, and gold, if you can imagine that. I'll have to probably get together with one of our sign makers and have them do a custom sign for that. I just have to figure out what I want it to look like. But I know I want it to have, and I've seen it pop up on my Facebook or Instagram page every once in a while, how they have like that vintage font package that you can order. I want it done in like that kind of font, if that's possible. I think it's possible. It's just which font would I like and what would I want it to say. Just something plain and simple like this sign here. It's elegant, but it doesn't need an awful lot of stuff on it. Pat says, I really like the fact that I can hear you with the mic closer to you. It's actually right behind the sign is where the mic is now. So yes, we just had to move mic closer to Kat in order for people to hear Kat better. Oh, Kathy. So you did a custom sign to thank your doctor for all his work with COVID patients. I'm sure that's going to be a special wreath for him as well. And let's see, this should be our last interior one. And then we'll work on our bow. And we're using 3-inch ribbon. Can you guys believe that? So one of the ribbon is actually a little bit wider. Just because it has so much detail in it. I don't think you could have like gotten a good look without it. Okay, so remember what I said, as you're doing your pipe cleaners, bring them down. They're so much easier to find that way. See, they're going every which way. It's just like how you end up leaving off. 2 more and we'll move on to our bow. Okay, let me zoom you guys in a little bit closer. There we go. So you guys can, and don't be afraid. Somebody did that yesterday and I was like, thank you for letting me know you guys want to zoom in. Just go zoom in. And then I'll stop, read the comment, and I'll be like, oh, okay, hold on a second. Last one. Okay. Here we go. I wish it was raining. This would just be the ideal time to be cold and raining. But it's not. It's hot and yucky out. No clouds, no nothing, just hot. Okay, we're all set. So, ta-da, here's what the base looks like. So look at how this Merlot colored Deco match really pops. And I know it's really hard to see on camera, but when you get outside, all those wide foils really sparkle and set off the tone for the wreath. Okay. Perfect. All right. We're going to work on our bow. So I'm going to set this one aside. And we're going to use our bow dabra. Let me make sure I'm doing this in the right spot. So here's our ribbon for today. And I'll tell you where it all came from. So here's our 3-inch. The 3-inch came from... Okay, we're back. So, don't know what the heck happened. It's just like one of those fun things to be stuck on in the fun world of where we're at. Let me make sure I am back to broadcasting live. I don't want to upgrade my, there we go. I think I got my comments back up. That was weird. The whole thing was just really bizarre. Okay, I don't want to go live on my tablet. Okay, Facebook, really don't need to be playing games. Hold on. This is why. Keeps going. There we go. Facebook. Okay. Hang on one second. I can see it there, it's working. I just can't see any of your comments right now. And normally I get a little icon that says, hello, is this where you want to be? Like it should have notified me that I wanted to be on my Facebook Live. Go, go, go. Okay, we're back. Facebook, don't know what's up. Okay, so we talked about the brocade ribbon. The 2.5 came from Lowe's. The Hobby Lobby 3-inch we're going to be using, and then we're going to be, we talked about the tinsel ribbon or the glitter ribbon. This is wine color, came from Shinoda. The 1.5 inch came from Craft Outlet. So we're going to pair those two together. We have the velvet with the gold edge. And then we also have, because it's Christmas time, I'm going to pop this with a sheer gold. And it's kind of like a cream color with a snowflake. So this is probably going to be my focal ribbon at the front. So stacked up, this is what it's going to look like. Let's see, how do I want these to go? I don't want those two together. I wanted this one here. We might have to do this in order to break that up. Then we can go here. It's always fun when you have to mix and match ribbons, but at least if you take the time here, then you're not wasting time cutting into your ribbon. So, all right, at least we know the order and where it all came from. The snowflake ribbon came from Hobby Lobby in the S box. And then the velvet came from Joann's. This was back in 2017. So I like using designs that, you know, aren't available anymore. It kind of creates that one-of-a-kind image that I think we're looking for. So let me see. I think I should have plenty of this. So we're going to dovetail the edge, which means we're going to put a nice finishing touch to it. So you're just going to bring your wired edges together. You're going to start from the fold and you're going to go right to the point. So this is a really thick ribbon. And then you get that perfect dovetail end. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in for you guys on the ribbon part. We're going to do this one at a 10-inch tail. So using the bow dabra, it's always going to be about the twist. So we start with the right side fabric up, and then we're twisting. And we're gonna do a 5.5-inch loop. Let me twist that. And I always come back and just double check measurements. It just makes it easier for the fluffing part. And I did get an opportunity today to head over to Michael's, and I can't wait to share photos with you guys. Michael's had their Christmas ribbon out. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And there are some new ones that I'm super excited about. A lot of new, like they're really coming in with different textured ribbons, like flannel, like fur. They even have sweater ribbon. Like, I kid you not, you don't get much of it. I think it's $14.99 for like 12 feet or some ridiculous amount like that. But it's sweater. It would be like if you cut your cardigan sweater, the white or a red, I think is what it was in. Maybe even a green. It's just really pretty. Okay, now we're gonna take that 3-inch. We're gonna do the same thing. Doesn't this look like wallpaper? Isn't that pretty? I think you guys can see it. Carol, where are you at? Are you, because she says, I wish we had a good craft store here. But remember, a lot of the places that I'm mentioning are available online, so you can go directly to them online. So we're gonna do 9.5-inch tail, and then we are gonna do a 5-inch bow. So this is pretty thick ribbon because it's so thick and full. And this is gonna be a 5-inch loop. You can see how thick it is. But I don't know, it just depends on the design. Like, some designs just call out to go rich and elegant, and this one just seemed to me that that's what it should be. It should be really rich and very elegant. So 9.5-inch tails on this, 5-inch loop. I wish Michael's and Joann's would up the quality of their ribbon. I know, I agree, Susan. They are selling less. And you know what's funny? I looked at Michael's Deco mesh that they came out with this year. Really great colors. But again, the quantity of how much you're getting on a roll is, and it's weird, it's like 19 feet. It's like, how do you have 19 feet in a roll? You've got to have 30. And of course, at Michael's today, none of the ribbon was on sale unless you used like a 20% off coupon. So that's a little challenging. Okay, so we're gonna do it this way. So we're gonna take this red, or actually wine glitter. It says wine metallic glitter with another word, wine, at the end. And then this is gonna be 9 inches. It's all gotta be about sparkle. So I was super excited to see new ribbon or new deco mesh at Michael's, but then when I looked at the lengths, and Kaylee picked up on it first. She's like, I bet this isn't a 30-foot roll. And she's like, nope, 19 feet. I'm like, what the heck? That's not enough. I mean, unless it's like 70% off, but you'd still end up having to use 2 rolls of deco mesh. So, watch the ribbon. Joann's generally has higher quality. Like, most of the time they'll usually try to offer it in 30-foot lengths. Michael's ribbon that I bought today was available in 25-foot rolls, so it's not so bad. But when you're paying $9.99 for a roll of ribbon and it's only 25 feet, I mean, yeah, it's good to get you through a design, but you're still going to have to purchase another roll so that you would have enough for maybe using it another 2 times. What do you guys think of the colors so far? Hi, Brenda. Haven't seen you in a long time. Thanks for joining us today. I hope everything's going good with your son-in-law and your daughter. I know you're going through a lot, so we've been praying for you. So now this one is 8.5 inch tail, and we're going to do the same. We're going to do a 4.5 inch loop. And then, there we go. Need to get it out a little further. So kind of having that one below that measured out makes things a lot easier. So 8.5. So many different things you can do with this color palette. Like, I have so many signs that I'm like, oh, this would go good with that. That would go good with this. This would go good with that. Let me put these down because we don't need them anymore. Okay, and then I love this red velvet. Super thick. So let's go ahead and put the finishing touches on that. This one's going to be 8 inch tail with a 4 inch loop. I'm loving getting into the Christmas spirit. Loving, loving, loving it. Okay, there we go. 8 inches. Oh, poor Brenda. We're praying for him. Dialysis, not fun. Not fun at all. Okay, let's see if we can kind of get our pin to stick in here. This velvet has been, it's hard to pin anything in because it wants to bend your pins. And then here we go. You'll see that this is a sheer. So as you can see, it's got just the right amount of pop to this. And this is our last. So I think this makes for a nice finishing touch right on top of that velvet. So this will be 7.5 inch tail with a 3.5 inch loop. So I'm just double checking all of my measurements. And it's weird because I never really thought to pop these two colors together, even though it's like, why not? It's like a no-brainer. Once again, everything just kind of comes together so you know it'll be a really good design. So many different ways you could go with the gold and cream. Okay. We are ready. Let's set this over here so it doesn't fall off the counter. That was what was one good thing about my live, is I could retrieve the ribbon that fell on the floor in the front. Okay. So now we're going to pick up all of this ribbon. And we are going to hold it like so to get our pipe cleaner on. And we're going to twist all this together. And we will get my cutting board, which is basically just a 18 by 24 inch cutting board that's 3/4 inch thick. This is a C hook, and I had someone ask me, what is a C hook? It's a cup hook. So the reason why it looks like a C, obviously, is so you can loop your cup on. But you can get these at Home Depot, Lowe's, where else? Walmart probably has them. A lot of your hardware stores, home improvement stores would have them. So just big enough that you can, gauge how big of your, I think this one's probably inch and a half, like big. And then I've added a nail to here, But you can also really inexpensively, and I should just go to Lowe's and tell you how much it would cost at Lowe's, but you can get a 24 inch by 24 inch by 1 inch thick wide pre-cut board. It's in their hardware section, and then you just take that and you're good. I think this one through Bed Bath & Beyond was like $40 because it was like the bamboo one. So better to go to Lowe's, get that one, and then you can put measurements on it. You can stain it. You could put your logo on it. That would be amazing. So we're gonna just go ahead and take our pipe cleaner, attach it to the C-hook, just like so. And there we go. So I'll spin this around so you guys can see what that looks like. Let me zoom in. This is where it is affixed to our pipe cleaner. So that just prevents everything from moving around. Let's go a little bit wider so you can see the fluff. Okay, so fluffing your bows. Since we like using wired ribbon because wired ribbon will hold its shape. So even if the customer takes it, puts it in the box, folds it back up, you know, sometimes the ribbon on the top part of the bow might go a little flat, but it's so super simple to refluff because all the ribbon is wired. So in this case, we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to pull our tail and our loop in completely opposite directions. So here's our loop, here's our tail. Doing the opposite than what I normally do. And then we have a loop on this side and we're going to move our tail out. This way you have loops and tails completely opposite of each other. And then as you build this, you'll start to see that you'll kind of understand the whole process of why we did it the way we did. Okay, so on this one, we're moving the loop over here and the tail over here. Go back to the other side and do the exact same thing. So this way, what you have, in a sense, is 2 loops, 2 tails, and then 2 loops, and the color should be kind of alternating. And then we'll continue to work our way down. So we're just gonna follow this one. So we have loop and tail. Go back to the other side. I'm gonna go tail and loop. And I'm not gonna fluff yet. I'm going to just unstack everything. So we went loop here. So we're gonna go loop other side, go back over. We've got loop and tail. Back to this side. We're gonna go here. Oh, yeah. I'm like, here's my loop. I was looking at this one. So yes, we're correct. There and there. Here and here, and then on the top, we're following and following. And I'm going to pull this one down just a smidge, just to kind of even it up a little bit. It's weird, it didn't look quite 3.5 inches. And sometimes it happens when you're trying to twist. And now you can go ahead and move everything around so that you're getting your colors where you want them to be. And it's completely up to you as the designer how you want to see things on your ribbon. Like what colors do you want to see next to one another? But you need to get to where all your loops are going to open. Okay. And now to put the little arc back in your ribbon, you kind of just use your fingers and just slide it down your ribbon. And that'll put kind of like a little arc, so when it sits on the wreath itself, it looks really pretty. And I am already situating this end will be the side that faces my sign. So let me lift this up so you guys can see. Let me go a little bit bigger so we can actually see our bow. It looks weird on my side. Okay. Sometimes it's weird how you can look at it in the camera and I'm like, that looks weird. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this off just like so. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. Okay, now we have our wreath, and remember we look for the flat spot, you know, because sometimes as we're putting our deco mesh together, you can kind of develop like a flat spot. So I think I'm gonna set my ribbon in here. So I need to grab my pipe cleaners, and I'm going to go on one of the spots where we had our interior, and look at how well this is already pairing with that burgundy deco mesh. I'm just trying to make sure that it's going around a rail. And you don't want to pull too high. If you pull too tight, you'll collapse your bow, and then you just basically ruined your entire fluffing aspect. So we are pulling everything out, down and around. There we go. What do you guys think? Oh, that's true, Trixie. She says a lazy Susan under your board would make easy for turning and not scraping your mat. That would definitely work as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach our sign. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the string that our sign comes with, and we're going to go ahead and add our pipe cleaners to ensure that the sign does not come off the mat, or off the sign does not come off your pipe cleaners. So knowing that your sign is a 1/4 inch thick, you can go ahead and use 1/4 inch staples on your sign, and then that way you're ensured that, like if you were to use an adhesive cable tie, little square adhesives, I've seen those come off before. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and give them an extra twist, that way they won't slide out. And then we're gonna go ahead and situate this on our wreath. Now, we don't want it to cover the sign, we just want it to accent our sign. So I'm going to go ahead and feed this down below and hope that we hit our frame. And you don't want to pull too tight because you don't want to do the same thing. You don't want to flatten your mesh, but just do it like 1 or 2 twists and then go do the other side. And then make sure you're okay with the placement of the sign. You know, how high up is it? Is your ribbon going to get into the way? So there's one. Still trying to make sure I hit my frame. So like what we did last night is we found that based on where our ribbon, our bow wound up, we wanted to bring our sign down a bit further, so that way we didn't have so much navy blue at the bottom. So in this case, let us, so this is where we're at with the design. And then now all I'm gonna do is go around the outside and add our tails and half bows to this design to break up all the burgundy and bring gold back into this. So we're doing the 3 inch and the 2.5 inch, and these are gonna be cut at 13 inch pieces. Brenda, you could make this style wreath. I have the utmost confidence in you. So when I do my tails, I'm going to pull these to the outside. And these have already been dovetailed. So this is why it's imperative when we're doing the design that you pull your pipe cleaners down, so then it's easier to find them when you need to go ahead and twist and put your ribbon in there. That's so true, Kathy. It is like riding a bike. It might just take you a little bit longer at first. Like when I was off, I think it was like 3 weeks when we were visiting Steve's mom. You don't realize how accustomed you get to the hand exercises, you know, from fluffing ribbon and twisting pipe cleaners, how weak your grip strength is when you come back. But muscle memory, man, comes back instantaneously. We want to see you try making again, Brenda. I think it's time. Okay, flipping. Okay, and I think I definitely want to make another one in this color palette. I think, do I have all the colors? Yes, I think I have one more roll of the Lowe's ribbon, and then that would tap me out. But I have a really pretty, it's a blue and wine colored sign, and it says, it has a picture of a baby in a manger, and it says, "Unto us a child is born." And I think that would look really good with this color. See, Brenda, everyone's telling you need to jump back in and do it again. Okay. So I'm not opening my pipe cleaners. I'm just adding the ribbon to the existing pipe cleaner as it is. You can see this one's hiding way up in here. There we go. Fan. Jilly's like, you need to go back to doing lives, Brenda. I don't want to feel so lonely. Jilly, you're doing great on yours. I just need to get going so I can actually watch you guys. I try to, like, note to self, go watch this person's live to see what you guys are making, because you guys are just incredible. Okay, so yes, the navy blue is the only blue in this wreath, and that was based on the customer's request. So I gave them a couple options for the sign. I gave them options for all the ribbon and the colors. So this was their request. So, yep. But I think it still looks fine. You know, it still looks Christmassy. And it's because they have a red door. So they didn't want to go navy on red, because then that starts to look like Americana or patriotic. So I get that. Yes. Okay. And the other sign I had was really big. I want to say it's an 8.5 by 11. And it's long. So it goes more vertical. So that might have posed a challenge too. Okay. Watch when we pop the gold in it. Because right now all you're seeing is more red, with just a little bit of gold. And I might even go back in. I did the velvet, but I think I might go back in and add the secondary gold to the outside to give it more gold tones instead of adding more red to it. Doesn't it look really rich, Jilly? I think when you start adding quilted or embossed ribbon, this one's kind of like a quilted texture, and then velvet, yeah, it definitely elevates it to a more elegant wreath. Thanks, Gail. It does look very rich. That's why I was like, ooh, I think I need to make another one of these. But something very vintage. I might have to go and look, because I collect old Christmas books too. I might need to go back in and look at something from like Charles Dickens era. Okay, so I am going to come back in and add more gold. So I'm going to take this and add this as well. I think I'm going to add this to the darker ribbon, and then I'll come back so that we're not missing the details in here and add the sheer snowflake. So these are cut to 17 inches. This is 1.5 inch ribbon. To do half bows, you bring it up to the top and you pinch once it's folded, so you have about a 2-inch loop. And then you're going to take this and add this right into your ribbon, and then go ahead and twist your pipe cleaners. Then go ahead and cut those off. And then you're going to tuck them around and behind. And then go ahead and fluff this back out. So let me really quick go ahead and cut these. So we have 6 of these, because I'm liking the gold, popping the gold back out to the front over the velvet. So there's 1. Here's 2. See why I don't give you materials lists ahead of time? Because I'm like, design change. Here's 3. 4. 5. And 6. Here we go. And then we'll dovetail these, and then we'll go ahead and start placing that. So I cheat when I do my dovetails. So I usually just take, depends on how thick the ribbon is, but usually I can stack them and then dovetail them all at the same time. So then we're not waiting too long to do the dovetails. See how quickly that went? So stack, fold, and then cut. And then just make sure they're all reassembled back on the other end. And now we're good, just like that. And now we can take this and add that to this particular ribbon. So we're just gonna pop this in here. 2, 3, 4, 5. And go ahead and tuck, open, and then we fluff. Okay. Try to get everything to fluff just perfectly so your ribbons aren't folded, twisted. And I think this is exactly what we needed, was just to add a little bit more gold to break up all the red. So, any questions I can answer for any of you? Doesn't it, Kay? It looks really good together. So burgundy over that the red. I'm telling you, the red just looked more orange and I was not happy. And I was like, I don't want to put that out there. But yes, I will end up making another one of these with this color. Change out the sign. Need something Charles Dickens-y. So now I'm gonna have to go get my Charles Dickens books and look for a really good quote. I'm trying to think, when you watch A Christmas Carol, what does he say at the very end? God bless us, everyone. I think that's it. That would be pretty on the on a sign. Do you have a preference to method used when designing your wreath? Ruffle versus cruffle? Standard. Just depends on the look I'm going for and what I'm going to be using, like how big of the sign that I have. If I'm going for something that doesn't have a big sign, like I'm working with like an 8 or 10 inch round, I will probably go with a cruffle just because it creates a really full base. Also, if you're using a thinner deco mesh, like it's on the thin side, just as far as coverage, I will generally do a cruffle to thicken that up. And then it looks really nice. Trying to make sure sometimes you get those little finished ends that just unwind on their own. Okay. A couple more. Let's see. Hi, Jill. You're in Moreno Valley. You're in my neck of the woods. Oh, super cool. So she ordered the Jesus is the reason for the season signs, and she's going to be making them too. My dad lives in Moreno Valley. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know right where you're at. Okay. Open. So we're always about making sure everything is open and everything is fluffed. There we go. Okay. What size do you cut the cruffle? Brenda. If it's on the thinner side, I go 30 inches. Just to give myself a lot more volume to work with, but that's going to require 2 rolls of deco mesh. If it's like this size deco mesh, I would do 25 because there's no need to go that big unless you're just trying to thicken it up. But you'll still need 2 rolls of deco mesh to get to your 18 pieces. You wouldn't have enough. Either way, it's 2. There we go. Making sure I've answered all of your questions. I know Gail's been doing a fabulous job. And so is Jolie and Brenda. Trying to see who else has been answering questions. Just a couple more because we started way over on the other side. Trying not to pull this. There we go. Okay. No problem, Brenda. Yeah, I know it's been a while. Thank God I write all of my designs down in my book. Because I refer to that so many times. Or I'll watch my own videos to see what method did I use on that? What did that look like at the end? Okay, couple more and we will be done. just fluffing the back end of the bow, since I have to go underneath to add the last of our bows. 3 more and we are finished. Lynn asked, what do you use to cut the mesh with to limit the fraying? As long as your deco mesh does not contain natural fibers like cotton or jute, you can use a wood burning tool at 425 degrees on a glass cutting mat, board, whatever you want to call it, because you can't cut, obviously you can't cut that on your self-healing mat because it would burn it. If it's jute or natural fibers, then you're going to need to use the rotary cutter, but you can follow that up with spraying it with the E6000 adhesive spray, and that keeps, it doesn't prevent fraying, it just helps keep the frays to a minimum. But I mean, I'm still on my own wreaths, you know, you do the yearly maintenance when you go to add those, you know, back out on your mantle or your wall sconces. You know, you're fluffing your bows again, you're trimming out any pieces of frays that happen to come out on your own designs. So I just find the least amount of contact you have, it keeps your frays to a minimum. Here's our last one. I'll take the gold and we'll use it in another design. But what do you think now that we popped more gold in this? Like, I went all the way around the outside and really added the gold to the red to break that up, so it didn't look too red. Rachel said, I really like you don't completely cover up all your mesh with ribbon like I've seen others do. I like seeing both the mesh and the ribbons. I do too. Especially when you've invested a lot in a really good quality deco mesh. Yeah, there's no point in covering it up. Okay, so let us take a look. Let me fluff the back end right here. Okay, take this one down. Let me make sure you guys can all see. Okay, so try not to knock my door over. Okay, we've got to take all the glitter away. But what do y'all think? Okay, let me just double check. Make sure everything is where it needs to be. So what do you guys think with the blue sign? Honest opinions. Because I know you guys won't hold back and you won't hurt my feelings. Okay. There we go. Should be straight. Yes. Okay. Voila. Let me zoom in so you guys can look. There we go. Yeah, I really and truly think the customer is going to be beyond happy. Even though I sent her the picture, which is basically, here's the mesh I'm going to use. Here's the ribbon combinations I'm going to use. Are you really sure you want to do the blue sign? Here's some other signs I have. And she's like, nope, want the blue sign, want all that. Yeah, that works. So I was like, okay. So I like that it turned out the way that it did, honestly. Let me see. Yeah, Brenda. So when you're dealing with custom orders, yes, you work with what the customer wants and you make sure you send everything out. And since this is a local delivery, we can always change the sign if she gets it home, puts it up, and finds out for whatever reason she wants to change it. I don't know, who knows? But I understand taking a blue wreath and putting it on a red door, especially when it's blue, white, and silver and a little pops of gold. It can come off looking a little patriotic. So those are the challenges when you're working with a, what do you call it? A red door using a navy wreath, because she loved the wreath that we did yesterday. But she's like, I have a red door, so can we do it red? So I was like, sure, we can do red. We can do whatever you'd like. Perfect. Okay. I love it, but the one last night was splendid. I know Steve loves that one too. I totally and completely agree. Perfect. Okay, so with no further questions, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I appreciate you guys being here. Friday, don't forget. I know he's hoping you forget. Steve's taking over my Facebook Live on Friday, and he's making his design as he walks out of his office. So don't forget, be here for that. I don't want to commit to tomorrow, so I will just kind of leave that one up in the air. If I get a hankering to do another one, I'll invite you guys to join me. But thank you so much for joining me, and have a great evening, everyone. Bye-bye.